Good afternoon. My name is Arturo Rivera. I am a policy analyst at the OECD working on digital government and data policies. The purpose of my presentation today is to provide you with a really quick overview of what it means to be a data-driven public sector from the perspective of the OECD. I would like to start with the following. For us, a data-driven public sector does not only recognizes data as an asset, but it takes the needed actions to actually govern the data as a such strategic asset. The second thing that is really important is that for this purpose, a data-driven public sector removes the barriers and takes the actions needed to streamline the access, the sharing, and the use of data, not only within the public sector, but also across different sectors, for instance, between the public and the private sector. More importantly, a data-driven public sector polishes open data as an input for the creation of new business models by private sector organizations, or for its reuse by actors from civil society organizations. Also, in polishing open data, a data-driven public sector acknowledges how public sector data assets contribute to the AI-driven economy, and in this specific case, to AI systems, given the value of open data as an input for these AI-driven decision-making models. Also, a data-driven public sector protects by default the rights of citizens in terms of data protection, in terms of the privacy of data, and also in terms of the security of the data across the overall data value cycle. And a data-driven public sector applies data ethics in practice. A data-driven public sector does not only adopts data ethical frameworks, but it goes granular in terms of what this means in real world implementation of data-driven initiatives. All this is needed to transform the design, the delivery, and the monitoring of public policies and services. For this purpose, a data-driven public sector first sets the foundations. And for this purpose, it creates and establishes specific data governance frameworks that addresses different aspects related to the application of data within the public sector. And this goes from the issues related to leadership, the vision, also to issues related to the legal and the regulatory frameworks around the access and the sharing of data, the coordination, not only at the more political level, but also at the operational level. Also, which is very important, is a data-driven public sector takes the needed action at the more technical level of any data-driven initiative to precisely secure the creation and the implementation of common, scalable, and shared data infrastructures, data standards, and so on. A data-driven public sector applies data to generate public value. This means applying data to anticipate and to plan policies, to anticipate changes, and to forecasting needs. A data-driven public sector applies this data also to deliver, for instance, public policies and services. And more importantly, a data-driven public sector also acknowledges the value of data inputs to evaluate and to monitor the real world impact of policies and services. Last, a data-driven public sector places trust as the frame of data-driven initiatives. And this means, first, creating or making sure that any data-driven initiative in practice aligns to specific ethical values. A data-driven public sector also connects data-driven initiatives to privacy, and more importantly, it highlights and recognizes the value of getting the consent of citizens whenever needed. It is transparent in terms of how data is being used, and also in terms of the decisions that are produced as a result of those data. And it secures the protection of the data across the overall policy cycle. Thank you very much.